Hello and welcome to another trades and tutorials video. This is Jeff Bish, president of MarketGauge.com, and in this video I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can make your trading life easier by trading ETFs. And more specifically, I'm going to focus on a couple of ETFs that you may not be focused on for various reasons, and they're two very different types of potential trades and different types of ETFs as well. But before I get into that, I want to make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, that you know you can subscribe to our channel so you can get these as soon as they come out. And also, if you don't already know, you can increase the resolution on this video by checking the setting down below in the lower right hand corner that is HD. So you'll see a little gear and click on that and you'll see HD as an option. The video will become a lot clearer and I think you'll like it much better. So now on to the trading opportunities. If you've seen recent videos in this area, you've probably seen me looking at a type of setup where you look for support to be broken and then the market to come right back into it, and that creates the opportunity to buy near the low. So this is a particularly interesting setup here. I'm not usually a bottom fishing trader. This is definitely a bottom fishing trade, and this is commodities. All right, so it's a whole basket of commodities. So it's going to go in its own direction. The stock market is not something you're going to look at for a leading indicator here, and it's got a really interesting pattern. As you can see, after a substantial trend down, I'll zoom out in a minute, the momentum stopped, and it stopped abruptly with volume. I'm not really sure how much weight I'd put on just one day of volume in this particular ETF, but it stopped abruptly and then has been moving sideways. It took out that low by just a fraction, didn't continue lower, and rallied. And then it took out the low again, didn't continue lower, and rallied. And then it took out the low again, didn't continue. Is it going to rally? Well, so far it has, and the thing that I like about this particular low is it took out the low, started higher, then it came back and tested it, right? And it lines right up with this level here, which some of you might look at and say, oh, that's like a little mini head and shoulders type formation. I'm not going to call it a head and shoulders formation, but when a prior swing low becomes support on a check kind of a rally, that's a pattern I look out for, and that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. The next step would be to then take out the recent rally. So now we've got a new swing in gear. So this is now looking like a very mature bottom in a ETF that's I'm going to say completely uncorrelated with the overall market. So it's a way to trade without being tied to the stock market. And in terms of an opportunity, and if you want to draw the big picture potential here, if the economy does heat up, I know that sounds hard to believe, but if things do heat up, or we get droughts, or commodities, you never know with commodities. You can see that these things have been over the last year pretty well hammered down. Well, from 30 to 22 is almost 50% down. And even if it just comes back up to the 200-day moving average at this point, that would be $2. That's roughly a 10% move. And again, not correlated to the stock. So you can see from the big picture here, this is really the best looking base this thing has seen in over a year, and even more so 2 or 3 years. So definitely worth keeping your eye on this one, and in terms of trading your way into it, this is a key reference point right here, this 22 level, and ultimately the low at 2170. All right, so hope that helps in terms of bringing something to your attention that is a great trade outside of stocks. But let's go into stocks here, and there's another interesting situation going on. Home builders. So XHB, home builders ETF. Now, just full disclosure, this came up in one of our ETF automated trading products. So I had a heads up to this a little early that it was a leader and had unusually strong momentum. So we were in it a little earlier, but it's still at a point here that is worth um, any trader's attention, right? There's a pretty significant uh, potential breakout here, whether it happens right now or decides to consolidate. I mean, a healthier look might be to have it consolidate in here for a while and then break out. But it's definitely worth attention for a couple reasons. One, just because the pattern looks great. Two, because it's doing better than the overall market. And the one easy way that I am able to tell that is with our triple play indicators here. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole triple play. Maybe if you saw a recent webinar, you're familiar with it. But essentially, these lower two charts here are two indicators that we look at to measure the strength of price leadership. So in this case, this chart here is measuring price leadership, and the blue line over the red line over the black line, just like any kind of moving average relationship is what you want to see. And the bottom one is the volume leadership. Now on ETFs, you got to be a little careful with the volume, but if you get a really compelling pattern like you have here, it's worth noting. So interest rates are going up right now, and yet home builders are rallying right with that. It's not really what you'd expect, but oftentimes these kinds of relationships happen, and when they happen, you want to pay attention to it. So the things that really I think should catch your attention are: one, you've got home builders that have been really leading the market in disguise in here. Now they're breaking out in an environment that should be challenging, rising interest rates. So that demonstrates either this market's totally wrong, or there's more strength behind it than one might think. And it's got a good looking volume leadership line too. So blue line over the red line, that's what you want to see. And so those two have kind of been coiling and quietly saying this market is in good shape to move higher. So this is one you should keep your eye on. Now, one other thing I would keep my eye on is that XHB is one measure of home building. Another one is ITB. Okay, so ITB has a completely different construction stocks in it. This one is not breaking out to new highs quite yet. But again, the overall pattern of this is quite bullish if you were to ignore the fact that interest rates are rising. So it had a really nice breakout of a long consolidation, multi-year consolidation, and it's just pulled back to that breakout level and now moving higher. So I like to see situations where both of these are moving in the same direction. They are right now. And they both have positive triple play readings here too. So for that reason, bringing it to your attention, I don't think this is a one-day trade or a one-week trend. It's something that if the markets continue to remain healthy, this is an area that you should have your eye on. So hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video.